Hi everyone, it's Jerry. Another update video on this Leela Chess Zero. The last video I put out there, playing against Leela, was at ID 102. That was when it had about 3 million self-play trained games. By the way, Leela learns only from self-play games. There's this idea out there that when Leela plays against other opponents, that it learns from that. No, it's specific to self-play games. Anyhow, the game that I'm about to share with you is where I played against Leela at ID 176. So now with 8 million self-play games and a lot, I believe many more users are involved. At the time of this recording, every day there are another nearly 400,000 self-play games that Leela is training. And here's another very interesting chart that I will be linking to in the description. This is where we could see the CCRL estimate, which is the Computer Chess Rating List, and the FIDE estimate of Leela. So if we just drop down for a moment, the first time I played was around ID 82, so close to expert strength. Expert strength for the CCRL, there isn't, at the time of ID 82, there wasn't an estimate for FIDE rating. At ID 102, I then played, there still wasn't a FIDE estimate, but fast forward some, there starts to be these FIDE estimates. They run these tests, Leela playing against other engines, and they're able to come up with estimates for the FIDE rating now, and we could see that Leela is already knocking off certain engines. Crafty is one of them that Leela is now better than. Crafty 19.19, Herman 2.8, and Leela ID 179 is now estimated to be CCRL rating 2,658, and Leela is officially playing at a Grandmaster FIDE rating 2535. And yeah, it's a monster. So I'm going to go ahead and share with you now the game that I played against Leela, ID 179. Alrighty, here we go. 15-5 game. Leela Chess. Let's go with D4 and see what we get with Grandmaster Leela Chess Zero. This is a 15-5 game. Rapid. Rated. And we have a non-mover? No. We got a mover. Alright, Leela. Let's stick with C4. I'm expecting E6. And I'm going to play knight F3 and reply to that. Curious to see if black follows up with D5, if E6, knight F6, D5, or maybe B6, going for a Queen's Indian. Let's go with knight F3. So D5, bishop check, B6, a Benoni, maybe? Possibly with C5? We'll see. I'm up on the clock, which is nice. I don't know if I'll be able to say that for much longer. So we'll get it in now. Okay, d5 it is. Well, I want to get my bishop playing. I'm a bit fearful of this pawn grab and black hanging on to it. But I really do want to deploy this guy. I'll go for this. We'll go to a more aggressive post. f4 and g5 are options. So let's see what black is throwing my way. Bishop b4, a capture. Bishop e7. This seems most solid. Just breaking the pin. I'm just looking to play a good game. Okay. I don't want to get killed in under 20 moves. Alright. Well, if I just deploy the knight, I think there might be a capture here, and then maybe the pawn is hung on to. So I'm just going to get in the baby move. Something simple. He's free. I'm ready to recapture. Will black go for something sharp like c5? Then I have to worry about checks, knight to e4, multiple checks. We'll see what kind of heat is brought my way. Will it be sharp or calm? c5 is sharp. Oh, a capture. Okay, well, I wasn't expecting that. Alright, let's just recapture. So, what's this bishop going to do? Notice I challenged it to a game with white. I've only played white against Leela so far. I imagine I will play as black, but I want to get one more game in here where, you know, I'm still playing with the same color. This, of course, offers me the best chance to maybe draw. We'll see. Okay. We're going to keep this pin. And maybe black is going to go hunting. You know, this seems to be a structure just from the games I've been observing by Leela. Super solid. The king, there's never an issue with king safety. And it seems to always have f7, g7, and h6 as the kingside structure. Okay, so the pin is broken. Moves to consider. Is there a great difference between the two? I think my knight belongs on c3. Though, you know what? The knight has some flexibility. Maybe I still wait a move. I may want to connect knights. I don't know if there's some pressure here. I don't want to have my queen tethered to the defense of the knight. If b6, I might look forward to a light square bishop exchange. I'll play the move I know I'm going to have to play and retain some flexibility with my queen knight. Not really thinking much beyond that. I have a central majority, but I'm not really thinking about setting it into motion. Just want to get some developing moves in. I think my queen will find a nice post on e2. Okay. And maybe I still go with a move I feel is a bit more flexible. Use the same reasoning that I did on move 8. So I'm thinking this is really the only good square for my queen. I think this is a good home. What is black? What's black going to do? b6, c5, c5, and then b6. It seems like, well, this knight, what is this knight going to do? I don't see a great post. Playing here isn't the greatest square in the world. I just back up, and then the bishop's locked into getting activated like that. I think this is the way forward. I also have a lead in development. I'm thinking queen to e2. Let's go with queen to e2. Any of these squares, the C and D files are subject to open at some point with c5, and one way or the other, my queen could experience some problem by a black rook. So e2, I don't see this guy being exchanged. I don't see the e pawns being exchanged. So it seems like a good home for the queen. And I don't know how much longer I could go with staying flexible with the knight. Okay, so clearly the idea here is to expand with b5. Okay. It certainly has my attention. Do I try and stop that? I do give up a nice square on b4. That is not within reach by a knight. So I may be okay with giving up b4 to the bishop. Here's the other thing. I may actually right now with queen to e2, I may have to run in for this. I don't know. Well, I'm going to have to make some concession here. If I play a4, black continues with b6. I have pressure on a6. But I think the plan is pretty straightforward for black, right? b6, c5, bishop b7. If I play e4, there's b5, and where am I going with my bishop? And if I go here, I think c5, ready to grab some space, and if I capture, there's a recapture, hitting my bishop. Really can't stop this type of idea. I can't stop c5. I could stop b5. Is this time well spent? a4, b6, knight c3. Kind of fighting off the f6 knight. And then maybe I go for e4. I'm going to say that this is time well spent. Yeah, well, here's some. I don't want to have to deal with a pawn on b5 and then c5, this pawn duo, and then the possibility to change the structure with c4 and grab some space, kicking around my pieces. So I'm just kind of reasoning it's okay to give up this single square on b4 just to provide some security for my pieces and not allow ensuing structural changes that I think would benefit black. Okay, so c5 straight away. Rook to d1 or knight to c3? 10-minute mark. Oh boy. I'm going to go with knight to c3. Yeah, knight c3 it is. Now, I don't know how to recapture. I'd prefer to shy away from playing an isolated queen pawn position. But here's the other thing. If I take with the knight, I'm giving two nice options for a knight that's not currently optimal, not in the key 16. So what is it going to be? I could have also considered this instead of knight c3, but I think the queen... Well, maybe I should have considered rook to d1. A queen to a5 is another thing. Now that I played a4, the queen could actually find a nice home on a5. I can't scare her away with this idea anymore. Okay, so anyhow, How do I recapture? I think I want to go with the knight. If I go with the pawn, I feel like the computer would be saying, take with the pawn. This knight may eventually work its way into that weak point. Capturing here, I think there's knight b5, bishop back, and then soon all three black minor pieces will be pointing at d5. I'm going to try and play within the structure. I don't think I'm going to have any attack playing with an IQP. Yeah, so let's still keep it symmetrical. King side, nothing exciting happening with the pawns. There are some differences, however, on the queen side. The decisions with the A pawns, and now a quick question to my light square bishop. I don't think I have many options. I can't give up my bishop for the knight, so it's the only square I got. No, I had another square. I had A2, but okay, I think B3 is fine. Yeah, I think B3 is fine. I did have another option. I don't know why I didn't see that I could also go to A2. Okay, anyhow. So, is now the time for bishop D7? Yeah, bishop D7 it is. So this really isn't so much of an inconvenience to black, it seems. No pin. All right, now's the time to do something with the rooks, I think. Where do I want the rook? Do I consider this move? Here, bishop b4. Oh, this pin could be annoying. This knight might even try and shoo my bishop away somehow. Maybe I sneak in a flight square. Is that a good idea? I'm gonna put a rook in the center. Rook d1. And yeah, I mean, I'll want to get an h3 at some stage. Very difficult. I feel that I'm worse. Related to this queenside weakness, because this is turning into a queenside game. No great play on the king side. Black is converging on c4. I do have that covered. I think I want to sneak in a flight square now. Let's go with that. Now's the time for a queen move, I think. I don't know, these kind of moves come to mind, maybe. Queen on a5, I can't really get at the queen, or queen to b6 even places a restriction on my knight. Limitation. Defense of the bishop, and there we go. So I think now I would want to ask the queen a question. Maybe she ends up just drifting deeper in my position, just pointing out a knight. I wouldn't want a knight on b4, but a queen seems to be pretty invasive as well, especially since it can't be challenged with, let's say, rook a4. Ooh. That said, I think I still should just do this. It's not like I need the pawn around to support a knight jump into b5. What other candidate moves do I have here? Jeez. Yeah. Here's the other thing, and this bishop is hanging. Inviting queen to b4. What would I even do? Here, what's my next move? I should be making my next move right now. I think. I don't know if I have a next move. Is my next move to resign? Yeah. This is a very lashing out idea, f4. Maybe I should do that, actually. I may need to play where I have, I don't know. I don't know what to call it. My e-pawn can move, their e-pawn can't move. That's where there's a slight difference. But if I'm doing this, the knight backs up, knight takes, followed by this is on the cards. Oh boy. Man, we're only 15 moves in. Uncomfortable. I don't know what to do here. I could get the bishop somewhere else. Maybe I do this first. This might be a move. Or not. Knight here, I was thinking I could do this, and then here, because the knight is blocking the bishop from defending a4. But this is still hitting fast, removing the defender of the bishop. The knight's just going to return and challenge my best piece. Oh, uncle. Yeah, and now everything is just absolutely beautiful for black. This bishop on c6. I love all of black's pieces. Queen comparison. Weaknesses over here on the queen side for me. Well, I don't have many choices here. I think I have to take the knight, and I don't want to have to do that, but I think I have to. So let's do it. What a beautiful square for this bishop. Maybe it would blunder. Bishop c2, queen takes b2. That wouldn't happen, would it? Never know. All right, well, I have to do something with the bishop, and I guess this is it. Go ahead, take b2. 4-minute mark. Move 18. Gonna get another rook involved. Yepper. Do I ask the queen a question now? Or maybe play this? I feel like I want to ask the queen a question. I gotta make a move. This is 15-5. I don't know. I'd be floored. Queen takes b2. It's not happening. I think I'm just inviting the queen forward. Reminding black that black can do better. Oh, there's that move. Didn't see that one. Okay, well, if I take with the rook, I drop a5. If I take with the queen, there is then queen takes b2, so one of these two. I don't think I could improve my knight. Maybe I can improve my bishop after or from d1. This is the best square for this guy, so maybe I come out to a4, b3, depending on where the queen goes. I'm expecting it just drops into b4. Queen b4. She wouldn't go home. Thinking queen b4 it is. Whew. Get out of my house. I can't get the queen out of my house. Okay. Do I try for e4 here? I don't know. That's dropping a pawn. Don't drop pawns. What about bishop here? It's kind of stupid. Ugh. Knight here, knight takes, queen takes, hits my bishop in g2. Well, I think I should still go there. Maybe get to b6 one day. Let's try for this. I'd like a knight exchange and be able to put my bishop on c3, just like this bishop stands really well on c6. And not only is it just pointing right at the heart of my king position, but it's really well coordinated. Oh, the a5 pawn is a gunner. Yeah, that hurts. Bishop d8. Was that really the deeper point behind the rook capture? Wow. Did not see that one coming. Well, let's see if we could play out some moves here. This is not going to end well now, for sure. I could still try to activate the bishop. Well, maybe there is a cost, right, if the a5 pawn is captured. Okay, let's move the bishop to the only square it could go to. Setting black up again. Take b2. Alright, so bishop takes pawn. I could ruin the structure. Black isn't going to allow that. I don't know. I'm not saying that I would have something against the king, but I feel that it just never allows that kind of compromise to the king position, especially with the queen still on the board. But apparently it is going to allow that. So we do have some imbalance. I might as well inject some imbalance in the position. Down a pawn, knight versus bishop position. What could I really do with this, though? Why are they thinking? Were they using an engine? Why the hesitation on the capture? Okay, I could get the queens off. I'm down a pawn, though. Queen h5 is the first move I'm thinking about. I need to secure b2. Maybe before I get aggressive with the queen. See, queen here, I'd probably get away with a capture. I take here, I'd be threatening mate. Down to minute 30. Gotta do something fast. Queen here does hit the bishop, too. Maybe I'd try that. I'm gonna try it. I guess the queen is gonna pick off b2. Queen takes b2. How do I take the bishop with the rook? Then black has the pick of which miner to take. It's really, yeah. Big trouble. Take with the rook. The rook doesn't even have any great lateral movement. I don't have any perpetual. Should I have just babysit the pawn, rook to b1? Oh, my knight is awful on c3. Yeah. I guess we're going to take a bishop. I could also resign too. That's an option. Definitely an option. Okay, I'm gonna give up on trying to win the h6 pawn. I'll play it out a little bit. See the finishing moves. Queen takes bishop, of course. And maybe we could somehow get the rooks off and hope for a perpetual. Yeah, I think this is a fantastic structure. Well, there's better structures, but it's going to be adequate enough to fend off any ideas of a perpetual check. I'm now down 2 pawns if you've lost track. I'll have a quick look back about rook to b1, but really, even before it got to this middle game position, yeah, saw that one coming. All right, let's get the rooks off. Down 3 pawns now. I guess we could pre-move that. Yeah, it's just going to be a queen position. I'll play it out a little bit, not because I think that I have a hope for a draw, but let's just see the finishing touch. Not necessarily to mate, but once it's crystal clear. All right. And I have to avoid the queen exchange for sure. Where do I go with the queen after queen takes knight? I don't know. Let's start with this. A bit more central. Have a check in mind. Just so many ways to defend against the perpetual. Move 30. I'm not mated, at least. It moved 30. Grandmaster Leela. Oh! Remember I was pointing out I need to avoid the queen exchange? Now it's crystal clear. I missed that there's queen c6, but okay, it's busted even after that. I'm going to go ahead and resign after my queen is captured. It's a good spot to resign. And we'll have a look at the evaluation, see what Stockfish has to say about this game. Yeah, I wonder how I could have improved in the middle game. Okay, let's dive right into the analysis. So, request computer analysis. This should only take a minute. Meanwhile, while it's crunching the numbers, it already felt uncomfortable for me. Like, I don't know. Where did I feel that it was a bit uncomfortable? Like right here, after a6. What should be the reply here? Okay, it does like, okay, a4 is a move. I mean, I'm not worse, but after that, knight c3, rook d1. I went with knight c3. Capture. Could go with either. Yeah, this is where I was saying the computer would be going with the pawn. I mean, you could go with either. Knight e5. Bishop g3 in this position. Okay, bishop b3 is the other one. So, I mean, the first 13 moves were okay, but I think Black's queen really, that was maybe the big difference in the game. When Black's queen came out, it really felt uncomfortable for me. Whereas my queen is just kind of, yeah, she's out of harm's way. As I was mentioning, the C and D files are subject to open up. But queen to b6 is on a closed file, but exerting pressure on a lot of my pieces, however indirect it is. A lot of pieces in mind are being eyed up with the queen on b6. Whereas my queen on e2, it's just staring off into space. Okay, it's eyeing up the pawn on a6, but the black queen. Rook after d1, so this is all very natural stuff. Did I play bishop? No, this is where I snuck in a flight square. Does like h3? I went with h3. The other suggestion is bishop g3. Okay, I went with h3. Queen b6. And now knight to e4. Okay, I went with bishop g3. Knight to e4 tries to maybe take advantage of this unprotected bishop. I should have at least considered that this was a possibility. Very fine line here. Plus 0.2, minus 0.1. And right around here, it's uncomfortable. Yeah. Knight c6, just challenging my best piece. And soon, it's just better for black. I mean, this is where I said bishop on c6 is enormous. There is absolutely no issues for black. Every piece is on a wonderful square. Piece by piece comparison, everything is better in black's position, I believe. There's nothing exciting here if we compare the diagonals of the light square bishops. Yeah, pointing at the heart of my structure, whereas I'm biting on a rock. I'm not breaking down this structure. Bishop c2, rook f to d8, rook a to b1. Okay, after this I end up losing the pawn, as we saw. So I have to do something super uncomfortable anyhow. I went with that, and now it's -1. Exchange rooks. Queen b4. Bishop e5. Bishop e5, bishop c2. Bishop b5. And yeah, pawn is gone. And I don't know, I tried just doing something against the king, but it's just not there. Queen a5, and yeah, as we see, these guys are just crunched without the b pawn around. Queen on b2, what is it not hitting? This was where I said, and maybe I should have done this at this stage, but it's busted at this point. Yeah, the king could even step up. Everything is secure. There aren't any good checks. Queen has this one, pawn has g5, and yeah, can't really get at the king. This bishop will be soon to patrol this diagonal as well. That's getting too deep. The more local thing here is that I don't have anything. Yeah. So what did I do? Queen h5, and it's just a goner from here. Yeah. So I guess in that middle game position, I could look more towards that knight to e4 move. I don't know. A lot of the moves felt very logical, natural on my part. Very logical and natural on Leela's part, but the queen position was something that turned out to be a bit annoying. A beast, this Leela Chess Zero for sure, and it's just going to get stronger. Wow. Okay, anyhow, as usual, feel free to leave any feedback to this video in the comment section below, and I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe took a thing or two away from this Grandmaster Leela Chess Zero. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.